Hello and welcome to the Guitar Hang Podcast. I'm your host, John Stankorb. Well, it's Season 10, Episode 6, and today we've got a monster guitarist on the show, the one and only Mattias IA Eklundh. Mattias is one of the most fearless and innovative guitarists on the planet. From jaw-dropping technique to wildly creative compositions, he's carved out a completely unique voice on the instrument. This conversation goes deep into phrasing, discipline, creativity, home life, touring life, and what it really takes to build a distinctive musical identity. This episode is brought to you in part by the Woodshed Guitar Experience, a boutique, immersive, hands-on guitar experience where players from around the world come together to study, perform, and grow alongside world-class mentors. It's not just clinics, it's real interaction, real community, and serious musical development. If you're looking to level up your playing in a focused, inspiring environment, the Woodshed Guitar Experience is something you need to check out. Make sure you look for the special promo code in the episode description. All right, grab your guitar, settle in, and let's hang with Mattias Eklundh. How are things? Good, Mattias?
Everything is tip-top. It's
Tip-top.
extremely cold in Sweden now. It's snowing again, and it's minus 15 degrees Celsius. Which in Fahrenheit is, I don't know, a lot more.
Yes. I'm in Raleigh, North Carolina, and we have mild winters, but for us, any snow, we're not really set up for snow. You know, we don't get that much, but when it happens, it gets pretty ugly quickly.
I can
We're
imagine.
not as robust as you might be. Are you in Gothenburg? Is that correct? Is that
Yeah, I live outside of Gothenburg, in the woods with a family, big dogs, and a big tall son and an expensive wife. So I have my house in the woods. I have my freak audio lab in the woods here in my studio as well. My man cave and a little forest where you can swim. Well, not now, but so it's a very peaceful life. It's the exact opposite of my touring life and the crazy things you experience on the road and traveling the planet and so on. You know, so it's
Yeah, it's nice to have the, especially if there can be extreme fun and extreme travels, all the things that go with it, but then you have a life that's tranquil at home, and it kind of gets you back into the mode of creating. Because it seems like at all times the recordings are just a snapshot in time of where you are at that particular moment. Then you go out and see what those songs turn into live. You know. Yeah,
absolutely.
Getting in front of an audience and.
Yeah, I fully agree. That's exactly what it is. And very often it's like, 2 years later after performing it, I wish we would record it now that we know and understand the nature of the composition and so on. But it is what it is, and you got to do something, and you know.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of things that I'd like to talk about. Your love for rhythm, harmonics, composition, but one place it might be fun to get started is with the Freak Camp, because I've seen some videos recently. I think is just recently as a few weeks ago, and I'd be interested. I was talking to somebody. I'm going to be doing some promotional stuff for the Woodshed Guitar Experience, and I've been to many guitar camps, and I'd be very excited to hear what your take is on the educational experience for the Freak Camps.
Yeah, well, the Freak Guitar Camp, without sounding like a, I don't know, complete arrogant idiot, I think it was the very first camp. This is the 28th year in a row. And when I started out, there were no guitar camps. And I also think it's the only true camp, because it's in the wilderness of Sweden. You're completely isolated from everything. No Wi-Fi. We have a big lake. We have a sauna by the lake. You know, we actually, I do the teaching outside in a very big tent and everything. So, and people sleep in tents, or they sleep packed like sardines inside. But it's very, very low key and you know, lo-fi in every way. But that's really good. People. It takes a day, you know, need to check my whatever, Snapchat or Instagram or something. It's not really working here. What's the Wi-Fi? So, sorry, no internet, no TV, no newspapers. And it's so nice to really calm down. You know, even in Raleigh, I did the Raleigh Music Academy together with Guthrie and Bumblefoot a whole bunch of years back and everything. But everything is super duper sophisticated. At hey, it's a blah 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 camp, this Guitar Hero camp, and it's at Holiday Inn, and you jam in a ballroom, you know, Jimi Hendrix songs, and there's nothing wrong with that, but what I do is very hardcore. It's only about music and life and you know, getting to know people from very much all over the world. It's really from every place you would imagine, you know, from Egypt to Indonesia to the US to Iceland to Japan to Taiwan to everything, you know, Australia, Borneo, New Zealand, you know, we have people from all, of course, Europe and so on. So it's really a fantastic melting pot, and I love it. You know, I'm not a teacher at all. I quit school when I was 16. I'm not even a guitar player, nor am I a singer. I'm a drummer, but I find it quirky to write good songs on the snare drum and so on. So I had to have some strings, and I'm a lousy keyboard player, but I play keyboard all the time, and then I fix it up afterwards. But I'm not a real teacher in that sense, and people call me the guru, and I didn't ask for that. I am not a guru, but I have a lot of stuff to say, and I want to share, you know, where I am in life, as you said, a snapshot of this is what I'm into now, and I found this really interesting, and this is a great tool for music, surviving show business, you name it, you know, surviving everyday life, the white noise of the planet, and so on. So it's really a love affair. Really cool people who are super duper dedicated, and they really want to learn. And what we do is, it's tough, you know, it's too much. We get together 6 days and then another group for 6 days, and it's such a hardcore thing, a complete overkill, and I love it. So yeah.
Well, that it seems like that fuels, or that's one of the things that drives you, is diversity and taking on interesting things that are outside your world and your scope of influence. You know, whether
Very
it be,
much. Yeah.
you know, North Indian classical music, or if it, you know, whatever world sounds that you can pull into your thing and make your own. That's
Absolutely.
You strike me as somebody that the spice of life is very integral to what you do.
Yeah, very much. I've been traveling since I was 19, and I'm 56 now. So I've seen the planet. I have no, how should I say, no illusions left of blah, blah, blah. You know, I know. It's like well, you're old enough to know the Tubes, but the Tube song,
yeah.
my head is my home unless it rains. Well, I have my base here, my headquarters in the forest, of course, with my family. But I've also been very often also alone, traveling the most weird places. You know, one day you're playing Kathmandu, next time you're in Bangkok, and then you're lost in, you know, Borneo, and you do a concert for monkeys or whatever. I'm fine with everything. I think that people are the same. We have a slightly different look, and I have a very silly Viking middle-age, you know, look and so on. People are the same. We have the same worries, the same struggles, the same joy. It's all the same, you know. It's, for me, a border is just something somebody invented. We're all the same, and music is a super duper important thing in a lot of people's lives, you know. So I don't know what the question was. I just talk.
No, the variety. I think that the thing that strikes me, and I think some of your compatriots like Ron Bumblefoot and Guthrie, is that you guys like so many things, but at the core of what you do, there's an adventurous sense to your playing, but also the most key component is, for me anyway, is the sense of humor.
Yeah,
I think that is so lacking in a lot of, and besides guitar, I think humor is the most important, you know.
I think so too. I think so
because
too.
it's the one thing that kind of calibrates us and allows us to navigate through the bullshit of
Absolutely,
of life.
absolutely. It makes life understandable, and so does music. You know, it's you can shake it off, and it's really important. It's very liberating to be silly as well. Make a fool out of yourself. Don't pretend. Life is not like an Instagram reel that's perfect and your shredding is perfect. Life is messy and dirty, and this the sooner you can let your guard down and realize, yeah, well, I suck every once in a while as well. A lot of times, I can. Right. Some days I can't even tune my guitars, and some days I am very inventive and I do things that is surprising me a lot. It's a roller coaster, but humor is really important. So. Yeah. I've made a fool out of myself pretty much my entire career, and it's okay. It's all right. Sometimes you're hot shit. Sometimes you can't find your left shoe, and it's okay.
A good example of that, somebody might be a huge fan of, like yourself, of Howard Shore and his compositions and his music over all these decades. But going back to the mid-'70s when he's in the Saturday Night Live first band, Howard Shore and this all nurses band. Yeah. It strikes me like even someone like himself he's probably got a really great sense of humor.
Yeah, absolutely. You have to. You can hear it in the music as well. From Howard Shore, for instance, from Lord of the Rings to all the Cronenberg stuff to Ed Wood. It's you have to have. It's life. It is what it is. Don't pretend to be perfect. It's not going to happen. It's again, be fearless, screw up, move on, try things, fail. That's okay. I mean, life is about 99% failure, and the 1% of possible success is really hard to handle, and with success there is ugliness as well. So I'm super duper happy at what I'm doing and kind of the level of what I'm doing things. I'm not super duper star. I'm not very well known. I have a hardcore freak audience. It's growing a bit every day on my terms and so on. I could have been much more popular if I, how should I say, bent over more. So, but I turned down. I'd say 9 out of 10 things, at least, because I want to protect my peace of mind, and I'm so happy doing what I'm doing, and I make a living from it. So why would I, jump on something and just to get some attention? That's easy to get quick attention, but will it last? And then you start to smell funny, and so on. And I'm a Viking. I already smell funny from all the boat trips, but so I don't need to smell funnier. So yeah. I just do what I do, and it's really important for me to do it with integrity. Sometimes you're about to lose it and somebody offers you a nice bag of cash or whatever for some job, and you say, that would be a nice invoice to send, but then better not. I don't want to be associated with this, or this might backfire. And what you have is, I am my own silly logo. I only have this. This is what I do, and I have to protect it, and I have to take great care of it, so that's what it is. I'm very happy where I am in life right now. It feels weird because there's so much crap going on to left and right and so on, but I really am. So I feel very lucky and happy to be where I am.
Yeah. I like the idea that when you come to the camp that there's no Wi-Fi, no outside distractions, and the fact that you go really deep, because I think probably the biggest advances that you've made as a musician came from that kind of solitary thing of where you would push away all the distractions, pre-internet, pre-video games, all that kind of stuff, and just hunker down with the guitar and tried to find your own voice. I mean, I think that's a really difficult thing to do in the world of Instagram guitars, because as soon as we feel like we're making some progress, by comparison, when we see the 5-year-old from Taipei that's playing Steve Lukather guitar solos, and just, you start to feel. But it's really nice that there's a place where adventurous-seeking guitarists can go and submerge themselves. I would think they would come out the other side and say, "Thank you so much for having limitations on the things that are going to encroach upon our learning."
Yeah, absolutely. Really cool. Every now and then someone needs to go to the airport or, I don't know, shop whatever, underpants, and they come back after 3-4 days at the camp to, normal world, and they go, oh no, I try to forget this, just, people honking their horns or being rude or blah, 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 whatever, it's so nice. There's a camper called Laurent. He had an idea that halfway through the dirt road in going to the camp, you enter a different dimension. Things just slow down. We may play fast at times, but usually it's just, and you hug and you talk and socialize and you share all your obstacles, your trouble, life and music and everything. It really goes hand in hand. So we're just about 110 really cool people who get together, and this summer it's packed again, and I'm really grateful. It's such an honor to be able to do this. So I love it. This is where I grow, and I really get my shit together every year, and I really think, where haven't I been before? I could easily recycle stuff, from 27 years for the 28th edition, but I don't want to. I want to dig deeper. Where am I? Where can I go? The road less traveled. Try things and fail at times, and then this was really cool. This is a nice seed here that I will just plant, and maybe this will turn into a new unorthodox idea that might be very stimulating, because doing stuff for the sake of, tricky stuff, it's a bit uncool, but complex stuff with a point. That's what we want to do. We want to make it sound easy, but then you realize when you play it, oh Lord, this is 119/16th. Where's the one? I can't. It takes a year to find the beat again, and I love that, but it has to have a point, a musical point. Otherwise, it's turning into wanking, and that's easy. That's Instagram. Sorry, there's nothing wrong with Instagram, but it's just it's oversaturated. So yeah, inflation.
Yeah. I know that you're very inspired and a huge fan of Frank Zappa's. It's always interesting when I talk to Zappa fans where they came in. His catalog is so vast. It's interesting to find out where they came in, whether it's Joe's Garage or Roxy and Elsewhere, or maybe all the way back to the Freak Out era. So I'm just kind of curious.
Yeah.
Where did your story pick up with Frank?
Well, I met Frank in '81. I was 11 years old, and we went to see him play. I have an autograph here signed on Scandinavian Airlines, spelled wrong to Mattias from F. Zappa. And I didn't understand it at all because I didn't get the music, and I was even corrected by Frank Zappa to go back to my seat and sit down so they could continue to play music. My brother-in-law introduced Overnight Sensation, and then I freaked out. I thought it was a fantastic record. But I was into AC/DC, and I saw Kiss with Iron Maiden as the opening band the year before. And then I saw Frank Zappa. I was like, I kind of like this as well, but there are no explosions and no blood or fire. But why do I like this? And then my brother-in-law introduced me to Django Reinhardt. At the same time, Metallica came along. It's like, wow, I like both. I like Slayer. I like Miles Davis. What's wrong with me? Because Igor Stravinsky, to me, it's punk music. I love it. It's metal. Because it has the attitude, it's doing something to me, and that's what I like. I saw AC/DC on Swedish television. I was maybe 6 or 7, and I broke our family sofa. I was so excited, jumping up and down, and it's like, what is this? And it was black and white TV, and at that time I made the decision to do exactly this for the rest of my life, play rock music. It really, that was it. I've never seen such energy. It was like, and to this very day, I love AC/DC. I always go back to AC/DC records and Overnight Sensation. Why is this album working so well? The flow and so on. Frank Zappa did a million really complex stuff and so on, but when I start an album production, I listen to Overnight Sensation. I realize, this is really complex stuff, but it sounds easy. It has a nice flow. It's got humor. It's just this texture. It just works. It's really well produced. So Overnight Sensation.
Were you sitting down with records and learning off the records, or was there somebody in the family that played, or an instructor that was kind of guiding you through, kind of giving you the basic vocabulary of guitar?
Not at all, actually. I started with the drums when I was really young. I was drumming on everything, and I drove everybody absolutely bonkers. They gave me a snare drum. Dad gave me a large military snare drum, and I was just drumming away. And I had boxes and drumming on pretty much everything. I had a big wardrobe. I can go into it and play there. Nobody liked my playing, but I was even drumming on myself all the time. And we did like concerts when I was 8, 9 years old with the first band with 3 chords, really simple stuff. Homework rots my mind from a poster that I had. I didn't know what it meant, but it sounded really good. So, but I'm completely self-taught, as much as anyone can be self-taught, because you listen to things and you have influences. But I sat on my Swedish pagan butt and I quit school when I was 16. I went home to mom and dad and said, I need to quit school because I'm really going to focus on guitar playing. I love this so much, and I hope you're not mad at me and oh, son, you should be a carpenter or work with IT or whatever. But they were fine. They were like, yeah, we thought this would happen before, so we're really happy that you went to school for such a long time, because I started really messing around at the age of 6. And since I was 19, I've been living only on my music, which is, in my book, it's a great success. And again, without losing, integrity and going weird roads and again, quick attention and so on. It was tough in the beginning. I was starving. I moved to Copenhagen. I did anything to get some attention, to get my name out there. And this was, ladies and gentlemen, before the internet. We had paper magazines and stuff like that. Oh, yeah. But the Japanese heard about me. I did an album with a Danish band, and they freaked out because I took the opportunity to use every teenage lick I have practiced on this recording. And it was on EMI, so it was a big record company, and I had some attention. And then I quit, and the band I was in at the time in Copenhagen went back to Sweden, started Freak Kitchen, and immediately went for Japan. I said, hey, you like my playing so much, I started a band. Well, I would like some money. Can I have money? And they said, sure, you can have $15,000 for your first album. I was like, what? Okay, great. And from that moment on, it's been, I'm playing and recording, and things are cool. So I've never, had, it sounds arrogant, but I was never I'm a careful guy. My dad says, if you don't have the money, you cannot spend it. So for me, I've never had any financial issues and stuff like that, because I've been careful. When I build my studio, I pay for it. When I bought the house, we pay for it. When you buy a new car, you have to pay for it. So which is good if you're a musician, because then you can take months and months off and be home, because I don't really have any costs. I work really hard, really, really hard. That's why I look like a cave troll, and so on. Sometimes I think I work for 10 people. I do the job of work of 10 people, because I do everything. I run the shop, I edit videos, I sort out whatever homepages, social media, I compose, I mix, I master, I run the camp, even alone, setting up the camp with every little note stand. Oh, here is note stand number 59. And then I, sit the chair. Is this okay for Mike Luce from the US? Yes, it is. He can see me and so on. So and people say, well, you should delegate, you should have help and stuff. I actually like the process of walking alone in the Swedish, for the camp, in the Swedish woods, back and forth with my trailer, my caravan and everything, and just putting up stuff, and little by little we're there, So I like it. I don't want to change a thing. I just want to keep on doing this until I drop dead, and it's a nice feeling, It is.
It's never been a better time to travel light as a musician, if you need to.
Yeah.
With all the advent of all the great modeling, whether it's the Kemper or the Cortex, whatever, the Fractal, whatever, you can really do some great things.
Oh yeah.
Ostensibly put your pedal board in your suitcase if you need.
Oh yeah.
To keep it in the overhead or something like that. So I'm just kind of curious how you traverse the worlds of the modeling and then amps as well.
Yeah. Well, I'm a Helix guy. I use the Line 6. So, and when I travel, I'm not lazy because I need space for underpants and my computer and my Steam Deck and all that stuff. So I use the Helix Stomp. They gave me all the big stuff. I don't know if you see, I have the rack and the big floor. But I use the Stomp because I only have 3 sounds and they sound exactly the same. One has a little bit of delay, maybe slightly lower and higher in volume and so on. But for me, it's fantastic. It kind of happened when I shifted to 8-string guitar. I played 8-string through tube amps for a while, and it was really messy. I love a good hard-working tube amp, but it's really hard because I tune to low E as a bass guitar, and it's kind of, how should I say, wobbly in the low end and so on. It took me a long time to mic the cab to get a decent attack and so on. And then I plugged into a Line 6 amp, and it was just, wow, okay. Because back in the days when it wasn't as sexy and, it wasn't as good as it is today, it didn't sound good. It sounded very artificial. The pod was a great invention, but man, to use it in a musical context, well, it didn't work for me at all. So I needed my tube amp. But now things are so incredibly good. And with the Helix, I really don't need anything. So I kind of went to the dark side. I use the Helix. I use in-ears. I travel with one guitar, my signature guitar, or my own brand, Freak Guitar Lab. You can take the neck off if you like and put it in your cabin luggage. And so it's really, Back in the days with Freak Kitchen, I used to travel with 8 guitars. You have to duct tape together 2 cases. It was a nightmare. Nothing ever made it. Everything was broken. And you look like the Hunchback of Notre Dame just carrying it into your hotel room. I hated it. I did it for such a long time. And then you have 4x12s and a million amps and everything. It was like, and still you would play your ass off and people say, yeah, it was a good gig, but we didn't hear the guitar. What? And you see the microphone moved like, I don't know, away from the cabinet. Somebody kicked it or whatever. It's like, But with the Helix, we played a festival called Hellfest. I think there were 200,000 people this summer and 45 degrees Celsius, which was insane. But I had this tiny device through this massive PA, and it sounds marvelous. It's really, really cool. So I'm not complaining. I love the Line 6 stuff, and the guys are fantastic to work with as well. So, But there are many, many, many amazing modelers out there. So,
yeah. I've noticed that you've adopted an interesting right-hand technique where it seems like you've got your index finger extended, and then I've seen you play some lines on the lower strings with your thumb, almost like a bass player, and then going back and playing, a more... So
I honestly don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
There are many people out on on the internet that knows what I'm doing much better. For me, it's just what do I need to play these notes in my head. It can be a quirky, unorthodox technique or whatever, but it's just I do what I do: harmonics or tapping or picking or finger picking or playing with the comb or a remote control or hose clip or whatever it takes. But it has to have a point. It cannot just be circus stuff and, again, quick attention kind of stuff. So, that's a fine line.
It's a cool thing when you talk to players that you fall in love with something that they're doing and you assume, okay, they're using some piece of gear, like in the case of yourself or even Bumblefoot, where he's using the thimble and fretting in front of the pickups, or you doing the harmonics and you're thinking that it's a whammy pedal. It truly is that the necessity is the mother of invention. You're hearing something in your head and you're like, well, what could I do if I fretted here and first depress the bar and then lightly tap the harmonic? It's a very cool way of getting sounds and being your own effects processor.
Yeah, absolutely. There are so many sounds in the guitar itself. To this very day, I get emails or messages on social media. So, what kind of whammy pedal do you use? never had one. So there's nothing wrong with the whammy pedal, but it's just natural harmonics, and it's in every guitar. All the guitars I see here on your screen, it's in every string instrument, the natural overtone series. You just have to understand how it works, so, and how to get the sound. It can be noisy in the beginning, but I started doing it when I was a teenager, and I had my first Floyd Rose. It was like, wow, I can do this. And it would only go downwards, like Eddie Van Halen, I think.
Yeah.
But then I got an Ibanez, and it was like, woohoo, I can go up as well. Party time. So,
yeah. I love the thing that Steve Morse does where he's doing the false harmonic things. So he's fretting, but he's using his index finger as he holds the pick. And
I'm terrible at that. I have to use the actual harmonics, and I know very well where they are. But there are so many things I cannot do. I'm going to see Guthrie Govan, who's a good friend with Hans Zimmer, in a few weeks, and he's just amazing. He can do anything, and so can Bumblefoot. They can just sit in any band, and they know every song. It's insane. I don't know. I don't even know my own music. It's like, did I write this? Yes, I did. How do I play this? I have no clue, because I'm constantly, how should I say, moving forward. Even my bandmates, they're a bit frustrated at times. Should we get together and have a look at the Japanese gig or the gig in Tokyo and have a glass of good cognac? I said, nah. Oh, when I watch an old gig, I have other things to do, even if it's just clapping hands and singing Konokol, or working with a strange chord and trying to figure out what it is. So it is what it is. I think a lot of my friends gave up. It's like, it's not really socializing. I'm the first guy to leave any party and go home and clap hands or play the drums or whatever. But it is what it is. And the lovely thing at this age is, it doesn't matter. I'm not pretending anything. I do exactly what I want to do, and I'm a kind man, but I also protect my energy and my time. I don't get involved with a lot of things. I can see beforehand that this will steal a lot of my own time for the stuff I want to do, even if it's lucrative and it pays well. So better not. So yeah, I'm very obnoxious, stubborn boss today.
The love that you have for film and film composers is that that's one area I don't know about your career. Is that something that you've dabbled in, or something that you have an interest in? Is doing some soundtrack for film or composing?
Yeah. I get that question quite a lot, also for gaming music and stuff like that. But I know some people in the industry, and on paper it sounds very intriguing. But I also know, for instance, the gaming industry is very, very tough, and you don't have the last word and so on, and you have to. There's enormous stress, and you have to crunch, and you have to do this and that. And I think I would be just miserable, to be honest. If it would happen. Yes, we would like for you to create some tunes or soundscapes or whatever for the game, and you do whatever you want to, and you have complete control. Sure, but that's not how it works, because there's a lot of money involved, and when there's a lot of money involved, that somebody's paying, and so you become a tool. And I've been a free man since I started this professionally at the age of 19, and never been, told what to do. And again, I'm a nice guy, but I can get very. If someone says, you have to, they come with a pointer and this is right and this is wrong, I go, well, I say bad things and I just walk away. It's like, I don't want to. Again, I'm a nice guy, but it's like, don't push it and don't tell me what to do. I want to do exactly what I want to do, and fail as well. Go wrong, that's fine. But still, it's my failure. I choose to do that, and so on.
It might be interesting, given where you live and the things that you and your wife are interested in, like wolves and dogs, and just the beauty of the part of the world that you're in. Might be interesting to go out and capture some of that on your phone, and maybe put together, not necessarily a documentary, but just sort of some visual things that
Yeah,
are
yeah.
meaningful to you, and then tie that together with some composition because it kind of
Yeah.
gives people a glimpse into your world. You know.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, again, I just came from 10 days in India, the most intense place on the planet, where we performed with my other band, Freak Audio Lab, which consists of fantastic friends and musicians and insanely cool and also insanely busy. If you've ever been to India, you realize that, well, especially where I live, where it's very isolated and you stand, taking a leak in the garden and nobody's watching. There's nobody here. I see the stars. Whereas for me, it takes, 25 minutes to cross the road to get some snacks on a busy Bangalore street. It's like, God, I'm very Swedish, but I love it. I love the chaos. But what I love the most is to have the luxury to go back to, it's dark outside. You just see the stars. We don't have any lights. Yes, we have electricity, but we don't have any, you don't see any city lights or street lights or anything like that. And it's fantastic to recharge your battery. And I know I am, a lucky man, and this is a luxury thing and so on. But a lot of people would never live in Sweden. It's dark, it's cold. The wintertime, it's very dark, In the summertime, it's very light. But for me, I am a Norseman, and this is who I am. And now it's been cold for a month and a half, and I love it. We're walking the lakes, frozen lakes with the dogs for hours. And then, you light a fire and you do some gaming on the TV or watch some whatever, Prime Video or Netflix in the evening. And it's great. And I compose, my studio is in my garden. So I just take a cup of coffee. I get up really early. I'm really middle-aged man. I get up at 4 in the morning. The rest of the family are sleeping. Even the dogs is like, what are you doing? Coffee. And then I do the morning gaming. I game Doom and Quake and everything like that, just to see, did I sleep well? How are my reflexes? It's good. And then I start working, maybe answer some emails and then start composing. And I love it, or edit a video, and it's great. For me, the ultimate kick is an open day. The freedom, of an open day. Nothing is booked. I can do what I want to. It's amazing. So I fight off a lot of things to give myself time. And this is the tricky thing today, because everything is stealing time, even updates on the computer. My music computer has never been online. It's always offline. It doesn't know what the internet is. It's amazing. And it works, ka-ching, perfect. So, yeah. Oh.
That's, the getting up early and feeling like you've got your whole day ahead of you. There's something to be said to getting an early start and just having some isolation to be with your own thoughts. I'm curious if there's any new discoveries, be it literature, film, music, new artists that are very intriguing that you're digging into now.
Yeah, well, again, I hope I don't sound like a arrogant schmuck or whatever, but I have very little time to actually listen to a lot of new music. I buy stuff on vinyl because I like the format, but I never listen to it. And then I buy it on CD and I put it on my phone so I can listen to it on flights, which I rarely do because I rather watch a movie or fall asleep and so on. So it sounds bad in a way, but I get a glimpse every, here and then on the internet. It's like, wow, this is amazing and this is really cool. But for me, the internet can be overwhelming. You get on YouTube and it's just exhausting. Everybody's screaming in your face with blah, 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 this you must do, and AI will kill everything. It's like, relax, relax. So I'm arrogant enough only to check my own channel, so there's no hate or racism or whatever. I'll delete this or stupid comments or whatever. I'll just push thank you very much and love, 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 and so on. So whereas my son, he's 18, he deleted TikTok the other day because he's shit. I have spent a lot of time on TikTok. This is meaningless. I'll delete this. Why am I doing this? To hell with this, So. And he goes running instead, and that's great, So I watch movies every day. We watch TV series. Right now we're watching Apple TV Plus called Tehran, which is very nice. drama, I should say, in the Middle East, and so on. And I've traveled a lot, so there's a lot of familiar ground. So yeah, again, I have probably 20,000 Blu-rays, even laser discs, VHS tapes, 50,000 DVDs, just in the studio. So I have 7 streaming services. For me, it's just gaming and movies and books are a way to cool down my brain. I go to bed very early. I'm not every time I'm invited to some party. I go, oh no, oh good Lord, is this like after 10? Yeah, we meet at 10. Well, I go to sleep at 9. And even, when you do gigs, we play in Italy, you start the gig at midnight. Midnight? Are you insane? So for me, an afternoon gig is wonderful. A 6 o'clock clinic, woohoo!
Yeah.
That's how I roll.
Yeah.
Because again, I protect my energy and I get more stuff done, in 4 hours before breakfast if I'm up at 4. Then the rest of the day can be a complete purple haze. But those hours, it's crystal clear. And I love that. I love that when the brain is really working the way it should be. And then everything else, everyday life. Oh, we don't have any milk. Oh, can you fill up one of the cars? Blah, blah, blah. The dog took a shit. So, stuff like that. So that's why I get up early. So yeah, I'm talking a lot. Sorry, you have to stop me. Just say.
No, not at all. It's great. It's interesting when I meet film fans like myself. It's the thing that pulls you in. For one person, might be the cinematography of things and just the way things are, and they're always thinking about lighting and just really enjoying the visual thing. And then some folks love the narrative of it, the story, and then some folks like the fantasy of it because they're drawn to movies that are so far removed from their life that it gives it. So it's always interesting to see what drives some or what's the thing that pulls you into a compelling film.
Yeah. It's, with the family, we watch a lot of movies together. That's one thing that you can, socialize with your son. He's still in school and he's also doing day trading, which he loves. And I understand nothing of the NASDAQ stock market and stuff like that. But he's a clever guy. But we always try to get together. We eat together, and then if I'm home and not traveling, we sit down in the evening and watch something, and so on. When I travel, I kind of watch bad horror movies because nobody in the family wants to watch that at home. So I make lists of, this one seems really bad, I'm going to watch that. And this one is supposed to suck, this will be great tonight. And this one is supposed to be really evil or whatever, I'm going to watch that. But at home, again, but I love everything, drama and comedy and thrillers and horror, whatever, even, documentaries are nice as well to put things in perspective, other artists and struggling, and then I realize, oh, bloody hell, I have a lovely life. I don't have those struggles, so it's nice. So yeah, you have to travel, you have to read, you have to watch movies. It's good. You can't live in a vacuum and only online as well, because it's a pseudo world. You have to get dirty. That's really, at least I think so. So yeah.
Yeah, that's my concern with a lot of the folks that are developing their skills on the guitar, but they don't really have a vehicle to express themselves in a band or going out and traveling or playing in front of an audience or just getting out there. And that's kind of the lifeblood of what keeps it interesting about the arts and music, is getting out in front of an audience.
Yeah, holy crap. I told you I was in India, and there's a guy, wonderful, fantastic, a wizard called B.C. Manjunath, playing the mridangam drum and also doing konakol, which is this Indian rhythm language. A fantastic drummer, Yogev Gabai, also a YouTuber, and fantastic bass player called Leo Roseri. And we made an album last year called Resist the Erosion. And then somebody said, we would like you to come to India and perform this album. And we did, but of course my guitar was lost in Paris. We never rehearsed. And this is complex music, and we were performing the entire album and more. And the first time we played together, my guitar just arrived with Air France and so on. was during soundcheck for the first time ever. We did the album, but everybody recorded separately, and it was such an enormous kick to walk, up on that massive festival stage and really get your shit together, try to perform this music at the best of our ability, and it was just pure magic. I thought this is why I am in this business. This is the reward. In India, you don't make piles of money. You do it because, the love of music and so on. You're happy if you don't lose money. But by God, it was fantastic. And people were freaking out. And we had big video screens and, the combination of almost techno, electro, metal, classical Indian music, all this stuff, pop music, jazz music, and just blasting it out there without any rehearsal. We rehearsed the day after the gig. So, shall we polish some things, It was insane, but it was fantastic. It was very heartwarming. I loved it so much, and I want to do it again. So, yes.
Yeah, it seems like when you have like-minded musicians that are just open for whatever the world is, and they're kind of in this receptive place of gratitude and let's just play.
Yeah.
Let's get out there. Magical things can happen.
Oh yeah. It really was a magical evening, and it was fantastic. I loved it so much. So I have to do it again. It was a milestone for me to do this. I have these peaks in my call it career, or that are just I treasure them. It's great. This was one of them just a few weeks ago.
Yeah, so, that's amazing. I would love to come to the Freak Camp and kind of
you should
as a participant, but also to kind of document and maybe do a special Guitar Hang podcast,
you should.
Summary of the experience. So I'll have to look more into that.
Absolutely, build a raft.
Yeah.
Join us.
That's right. Well, when you did the thing at the Raleigh Music Academy, that must have been with my buddy Paul Warren.
Oh yes, absolutely. Paul is a great guy, and I did one first with we call it the Freak Foot. It was me and Bumblefoot, and I remember I farted in his microphone just as he was about to sing. I was like, "You don't do this in Raleigh." Yes, I am from Sweden, no problem. And Paul was really nervous because Ron, he has no filter as well, and all the parents were there, and oh God, what a mess! But it was super fun. And then I did one with Guthrie, and it was also fantastic. That was another milestone where somebody said, we were both on Paul's little stage, and somebody said in the audience that, can you compose something as you play it, or play something as you compose it? And we just, okay, what do we do? And I probably just strummed a chord, and Guthrie came up with the melody, and we threw things around, and it was fantastic. Then we tried to do it the day after, and it was a catastrophe, so we just stopped. Don't jinx it. If it happens once, fine. Thank you so much. I hope to meet you in person eventually. All right. Thank you so much. All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. What an incredible hang with Mattias Eklundh. If you got value out of this episode, and I know that you did, please make sure you subscribe, leave a review, and share this episode with a guitar player friend who needs to hear it. Don't forget, this episode is sponsored in part by the Woodshed Guitar Experience. If you're serious about growth as a guitarist and want an immersive boutique experience with world-class guitar mentors, check out the link in the description and look for the promo code mentioned there. Thank you so much for being part of the Guitar Hang community. Season 10 is underway, and we're just getting started. Until next time, keep practicing and keep creating, keep playing.